As the principal of Huntington High School, under his principalship, the school went from being a D school to a B school. The enrollment went from about 800 students to over 1,100 students. He was principal of the year not once, but twice, as a middle school principal and as a high school principal. He is a husband of Carla Mitchell, father of 3 sons, a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, and a member of New Greenwood Baptist Church. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I present our speaker, my boss, Dr. Matthew Mitchell.
Good afternoon. All right, first to Pastor Greg Oliver, Brother Darrell Hampton, officers, members, fellow educators. Really, I honestly wish you probably would have forced Lynette to come up here and try to introduce me. But I definitely thank Mr. Burris, Coach Burris, for that wonderful introduction. Families, friends, I'm very honored and humbled to be with you this afternoon, today. And I'll be remiss without thanking my wife, Carla Mitchell, and my family, who's here, Jason Jackson. They make a lot of sacrifices to make all that he read possible. I spent a lot of time away from them, trying to support all of our children. And they make it easy for me to do that, and they support me as well. So them taking time to come tonight is definitely a blessing for me. I do my best to share with you our high school experiences and expectations. Hopefully, of course, I'm going to do my own plugging of the best high school experience will be at Huntington High School. Now I know some of you all are thinking, I see some students out there, and she wore her T-shirt, so that's awesome. I can't really take credit for all of this, but it may not be important to everyone, but I didn't experience this in high school. But to have teachers and administrators that really take an active role, they genuinely care about their students. They genuinely participate in their extracurricular activities and what they have going on. We just have a wonderful group of people who truly want the best for every student that walks our hallways. And I can't say that everywhere, but I hope that everyone is trying to do that. But I can say at Huntington, we are definitely trying to build a staff that truly cares about their students and wants the best for everyone on campus. With that being said, the verses that I want to speak from tonight are very commonly used. Probably hear them a lot, but I feel that they are so appropriate for our students and for our parents to continually be mindful of. The first one is Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. But it doesn't stop there. In James 2:14-17, what good is it, my brothers, if someone says he has faith but does not have works? Can that faith save him? If a brother or sister is poorly clothed and lacking in daily food, and the one of you says to them, go in peace, be warmed and filled, without giving them the things needed for the body, what good is it? So also is faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. These verses apply to so much in life and honestly apply to each of the aspects of the topics that I was asked to speak about tonight. So to be as transparent as possible, I'm speaking not only from a principal perspective, but also from a parent perspective. And that's because I try to do my job as best as I can, as if all of the students on my campus are my children. So I expect Ms. Hampton to make decisions for them as if it was her son, Jacob. So topic one is attendance. Now, this is going to have to be a little interactive because I am not one to just talk for 20 minutes, all right? So I'm going to have to ask you to be involved a little bit as well, okay? But the first topic is attendance. So there's several aspects of attendance that are crucial for your student success. So, of course, being on time, being present, well-rested, focused, ready to learn are so important. That is a lot, but again, school can the school can want the best for your child, but we just said that faith without works is dead. So, by as early as middle school, a student's transcript has begun. Most middle schools offer classes where students can obtain high school credit. That high school credit is going to be on their official transcript when they graduate. Therefore, if you have a class as early as 6th through 8th grade that is going on a high school transcript, if that child doesn't take that serious, they're starting off in a bad place. So, every class on your child's transcript is important, as it affects GPA, it affects scholarships, it affects other opportunities that student can possibly obtain before they graduate. So students, I'm telling you all, whether you're in high school, middle school, or elementary, please take every class seriously. At some point before the end of their sophomore year, every student and parent will have to declare which diploma track their child or their student will be working towards, okay? So before I move on, I want to make sure that I'm thorough in trying to give you any assistance as I can. So is there anyone who has any questions about how important attendance is? I'm gonna call on Paris before the night is over just because that's a familiar face. But anybody have a question about attendance? Okay, huh? Yes, sir. All right, so our district attorney and our attendance department have really cracked down on that. So before, and I'm sure Ms. Hampton can attest, as soon as you start missing days, unexcused absences, as soon as they start building up, the magic number may be 10, but we probably start before then. We'll turn your name over to attendance. We'll start making phone calls. We'll try to get that student in school. Eventually, the attendance department turns their name over to truancy, and the DA kind of gets involved, all right? In the past, that's usually kind of where it stops. But if y'all know recently, they have issued warrants for parents' arrest because of truancy issues and them not getting their child to school. So the penalty, the punishment, the accountability, the accountability is really kind of increased, and they understand the importance of getting students to school on time and being there every day. Anything else? Ma'am? Do I blame it on the parents? I'm not really one to necessarily just say I'm going to blame somebody. At this point, I just need them to be at school. So I'll be completely honest. Sometimes we have transportation issues with the district. Sometimes, families have transportation issues. Like at this point, I want to try to work towards solutions instead of really kind of focusing on blame. So I really want to try to focus on how can we ensure that child gets to school on a daily basis and on time, as opposed to really blaming parents. I can't really control parents, but I can, hopefully, when that child is with me, take the best care of them that I can. All right? Anybody else? Yes, ma'am. Hmm. Right. I mean, be involved. So later you'll hear how important it is for a student to be involved in extracurricular activities, co-curricular activities. Um, Same can be said as the parents. Like, we have a PTSA, um, we have various booster clubs, we have various opportunities for parents to really kind of come and help out at the school, and it really kind of makes a difference. The more you're really kind of informed, like we have our app, we have our website, we try to keep parents informed, but the more you're involved, the better it is for your child. Anything else? Yes, sir. How long will they know before they're expelled? I, I don't know. Depends on the attendance department. So that's a whole different process. I hadn't really talked about that part, but hopefully they won't get in trouble enough to get expelled. All right. We don't want that. So I'm not going to sit up here and say it doesn't happen. So I don't mind being honest. Kids do get expelled, but that's not our goal for them. That's not our goal for them. Okay. So I ended off by saying a child has to declare for 2 diploma tracks. So there are 2 diploma tracks. You have a TOPS University track, which a child needs 24 credits to graduate. Those credits include a variety of courses that are ultimately supposed to prepare that child to go on to a 4-year university. The other track is the TOPS Tech track, which is commonly known as Jumpstart. That track needs 23 credits to graduate. Those courses are designed to prepare students for a particular 2-year college, technical college, or career. There are advantages to both, though. So there's a big stigma sometimes about Jumpstart, students being informed or misinformed that they can't go to college, or their diploma is not as good or strong as the TOPS University track, and that's just honestly not true. When I was principal at Lakeshore Middle School, we called ourselves the University of Lakeshore because I wanted our kids to really kind of be exposed to why we were trying to get them to really focus in middle school, why we were trying to prepare them for high school, and what was going to come after high school. And in the midst of that, I ran across several careers where they only needed an associate's degree. They only needed to go to a 2-year university, and they are making far more money than I'm making today doing way less work. One in particular, I don't remember the name, but Paris, Google it for me. But it was where they learned how to run a machine that took the blood out of your body, and like during surgery, so it would take the blood out of your body, and they would put it back in. But because it was so serious, if that person messed up, you would die. Okay, so because the job was that serious, that person was only allowed to work one day out of every 10 days. So they worked 1 day out of every 10 days because of how crucial that job was, and they had to go and get an associate's degree, a 2-year degree to do it, and they were making over $100,000. So I'm saying that to say that if I would have known that when I was in school, I promise you, I would have chosen a different path. Okay, so please don't let that stigma get to you. It is a diploma, just as if the other one is. The opportunities and what you're going to use it for are different. Okay, but the next main topic was dress code. So the best I can say to that, because it was our first day of school today. So the best advice I can probably give on that is just to kind of tell you the reason for the dress code is to protect the learning environment for all students. Unfortunately, some schools are going to the extent of even having dress codes for parents when they enter the campus. My advice on this is honestly is to not let anything hinder or get in the way of your child's education. So I'm not here to to judge what someone wears or to say what someone wears is good or not or appropriate or not. Like, that's not really what I'm going to sit up here and tell you. What I am going to tell you is that we have a dress code, we have a parish dress code, we expect our students to follow it, and I would expect my children to follow it because I don't want to have any excuse of why they can't go to school, why they can't be in class. I don't want to give anyone a reason to send my child to ISS, to not have them in the learning environment that I need them to be, so we follow the dress code, okay? So that's my biggest advice on that. Now, dress codes vary, dress codes are different. Here recently, I've seen several schools put their form of dress code out, and they do it for various reasons. So I'm not gonna, I can't comment necessarily on another school because I'm not there on a daily basis. I can say that I believe that every administrator or every principal wants the best for their students. So if they are saying that they don't want their students to wear a particular item or do a particular thing, I think they have a valid reason behind it. Here recently, I can't speak to this because I don't understand it. It's not out of dress code. I just don't understand it. It may be because I'm, old now, but a lot of our young men and women these days in high school wear hoodies. Okay, so let me tell you about me. All right, so today, first day of school, I want to ensure that I put my best foot forward. Students understand that I'm serious, that I want the best for them. I went to school with a long sleeve shirt on, a tie, which means it's buttoned up, tied up, and a jacket. Y'all, it's hot outside. It is hot, right? So I get out the car, I go in the building. I mean, maybe 5 minutes. I'm like, man, whoo. But they walk around with hoodies on. I'm not going to understand it. It is too hot for a hoodie. I don't want to see a hoodie until it gets cool. But they love to wear them. Okay, so that's not a problem. I mean, it's fine if their body temperature may be different from mine. I'm telling you, I may be old, so I get it, right? So that's fine. So they're different, they're young, they can do whatever they need to. But when that hoodie is on in class, when they have a hoodie over their head in class and they tighten that hoodie up and you can barely see their face. It was even worse when we had masks on, so you would have a mask on, you would have a hoodie on, so you just see like a little bit of their eyes. That's all you see. Like, it's hard for a teacher to really understand what they're saying, see if they're involved, see if they're engaged in what's going on. So I'm not going to outlaw hoodies. I'm not going to ban hoodies. I'm not going to make that against my dress code. But what I am saying is if a school does, they may have a valid reason for it, okay? So that's kind of it on dress code, right? So does anybody have serious issues with dress code? All I can do is give you some advice, and we're in the house of the Lord, so we can pray. But that's about it. But go ahead. I require them to take the hood. I require them to take the hood off in class and in the building. So I guess I'm really kind of old school. So I didn't want hats on in the building. I didn't want hoods on in the building. But some classes do, some don't. We got a former teacher over there, Ms. Johnson. She was notorious for it. I really kind of loved it. I mean, they knew it was just, it really was funny, y'all. Whenever you set expectations for children, they really do follow them. So they would hit that corner, and they would know that they're not coming in class with the hood on. She gonna make them line up outside. I wish you would have a hood on. You just not coming in, right? But then that expectation may be different somewhere else, so kids are gonna try to play that. But honestly, if you set the expectation, because I told them in faculty meeting, I don't want hoods on in the building, I don't want hats on in the building. She set that expectation, and we roll with it, okay? Anything else about dress code? We just gonna pray for you. We just gonna pray for you. I mean, I would. I mean, if that's in the code, then I would follow it. Like I said, I'm not gonna sit up here to say that I understand everything, but at the end of the day, if you wearing mismatched socks will hinder you from being in class and getting the education that you deserve, then I would say let's make sure we got matching socks on. Yes, ma'am. Right. Well, no, it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't Caddo, but we have neighboring parishes that don't allow a lot of things, and they don't even allow cell phones in the building. So we haven't gotten to that point. But like I said, I mean, I can say that whatever it is, follow it so you can get the education that you deserve. Yes, sir. Yes, that is dangerous. It is. It is. Okay, so our dress code at Huntington is for every student, 9th through 12th grade. When I was a middle school principal, we had different dress codes because we were in uniforms, so we had different dress codes for our different grade levels. But at Huntington, we don't wear uniforms, so we just follow the dress code. So that's for everybody. Yes, sir. Uh-huh. Without a doubt. Without a doubt, we are trying to enforce it. Okay. I'm not going to get in trouble, so I'm not going to say some things that I used to do. Well, I guess that's in the past. I can't get in trouble for it anymore. So I've gone to the extent of, at times if we had a student who didn't have a belt, couldn't keep their pants up. I literally, when I was a middle school principal, I got some donations because I didn't want anybody to say that we put a financial burden on them, but I really got donations for scrubs. So I got some scrubs donated to the school. So if a child came, male, female, out of dress code, didn't have a change of clothes, then they just wore scrubs for the whole day. We didn't give them the excuse to say, my mom won't bring me any clothes, I don't have any other clothes, I gotta go home. No, you don't. You can put these scrubs on and you can be sitting in class. Now, of course, I didn't make the scrubs the cute scrubs that people wear to work. So it might not have been the scrubs they wanted to wear, but it was some clothes that they could be in class and be appropriate and be able to learn. So yes, we are trying. Would love for everyone to. Okay, so just being okay. So that's another thing that I can't get into. Is skinny jeans and tight jeans, but that's how they wear their jeans. So when they say they can't pull them up, they can. I've seen it. They can tighten their belts up. It can work. It's usually just them knowing your expectations. So there was a point in time where I would be walking down the hall and you would see everybody pulling their